And who would guess that it's a vitamin supplement? And indeed it is. It's called Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails. Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails is one of those products that once you try it, you will not stop taking this. It is one of Andrew's best sellers, if not his best seller, best top reorder product. The beauty of this in a nutshell is that this is a product that will make a difference in your hair, in your skin, and in your nails in a way that most beauty products, all beauty products, could never deliver. There's not another beauty product like this on the market. And that's why women go wild for it, because suddenly you're able to grow your hair out, you're able to grow your nails out. You see your skin looks better. Your beauty product looks better because your skin is better. Your hair looks better when you have your hair colored, your hair styled. Your hair looks better because you have better hair. Same with your nails. So it's pretty exciting to find a beauty product that really does deliver. And I want to share the value because we have a 50, we have a 100, a 250, or a 500 cap size. Here's the regular HSN pricing. Here is the anniversary pricing. Here is the savings across the board, $40 off. So for a mere $79.90, we are going to send you 500 capsules. That is a drop in the bucket. When you think about the money you spend on your hair. One trip to the beauty salon, right? Do you have your hair colored? Do you have your cut, color, blowout, all of that? Most of us are spending more than $79.90. One trip to the beauty salon. What do you pay to keep your nails looking nice? What do you spend on skincare? Think about the money we spend on skincare. Our beauty products, our cosmetic products, if you go to have facials, all of that, think of the money we spend on skincare. That's why I say this is a complete little drop in the bucket to spend $80 for 500 capsules of a beauty product that works. And this is not pie in the sky. This makes a difference and you will see it. You will see a difference in your hair, in your skin, and in your nails. That's why it's one of our best sellers of all time. I mean, this is one of our best-selling product. It is our #1 reorder, or one of our absolute best reorder products. I know it's right up there, 1, 2, or 3.
It's the top reviewed product here.
Top reviewed product in the world of beauty. So it's a wonderful chance for you to try it. And guess what? Normally you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. You have 3.5 months to try this. We've extended the return policy till the end of January. So you've never had a better chance to see if this product will really deliver for you. The reviews, there's 5,700 reviews. Of that, 4,300 are perfect 5. Another 600 plus are 4 stars. So you have close to 5,000 reviews that are excellent out of 5,700.
Yeah, almost
which is
80% are 5-star reviews.
That's right.
When you add the good reviews comprise almost 90% of the reviews. And even this is a good time. If you've tried this before, perhaps it didn't work for you. You'd be in a substantial minority, but perhaps it didn't work. This is a perfect time to perhaps try it again because you have a money-back guarantee for 3.5 months till the end of January. Start with a couple of capsules. You have nothing to lose. This is a product that half the folks who use it probably take 1 capsule daily because of the high potency of all the key ingredients. Or you could take 2 capsules. About half folks do that. But I was just going to read some reviews. I haven't read any reviews talking about this product. Just wow. Plus the reviews are amazing on this product.
They are.
I'm a 51-year-old female and was looking for something to try and get my thinning hair growing again, or at the very least, to appear thicker as it did in my younger years. I figured I would try this to see if I noticed any results. I'm thrilled to say that after 3 months, not only can I not see my scalp anymore on my forehead, but my eyelashes are growing again. Yay. My nails are growing and the appearance of my skin is improving. Andrew, you have a fan for life in this product. I will be back to try others. Thank you.
That's a great review.
Really works. Never want to do without these. This is my second bottle of these vitamins. My hair is very healthy, my skin looks good, my nails are strong, I feel very fortunate. I never want to stop using these. The capsules are very easy to take. I cannot stand big tablet pills. Tiny capsules, easy to swallow. They smell great too. I love the smell when I open the bottle. I take one in the AM and one in the PM. every day.
Never noticed this smell.
Amazing. It has a very subtle smell, almost no smell.
Yeah, it's nice.
I am 67 and was afraid that I was losing my formerly thick hair. This product has completely turned that around. I'm thrilled not to have handfuls of hair in my hand after I comb through it. I take a number of other AL products too, and my doctor totally approves of everyone.
Yep.
Yay, I could go on and on. Thank you, Andrew. Perfect formula. Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails is one supplement I always make sure to take. I believe it is a perfect formula to support not only my hair, skin, and nails, but also my joints, such as MSM. We have MSM in here as well. I used to take many of these supplements separately. I find it so much more convenient to take them all together. My nails and hair are both long and healthy. I wish I could post a photo of my nails. I did post one on Facebook and suggested my friends try using Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails.
Wow.
I've given bottles of this support formula to several of my friends who are having problems with their nails or hair. They have become regular users. Happy. I've been using these vitamins for about 3 months now. I'm so happy with them. My hair is looking great. My manicurist compliments me on how nice my nails are looking too. I am a happy lady. Depend on it. This is my first purchase of Mr. Lessman's supplements, and the results of this particular one have been amazing to say the least. At 72, I've had problems with my hair loss and soft nails. After a short period of use, my hair loss has greatly diminished, my nails are stronger, and I no longer need a cuticle cream. In conclusion, buy this product from Susie in Florida. And again, it's interesting. I would say, whatever size you want to get, it's a 3.5-month money-back guarantee. It's till January 31st. That's ample time for even the toughest critic to see the benefits of this product. So you could be skeptical, cynical, just try it to prove me wrong. And unfortunately, I won't be wrong, or fortunately, I won't be wrong. It's a product that delivers. Take 2 capsules a day. If it doesn't work, return it January 31st. I truly believe you won't want to be without it, and this is such a great time of year to really give it the test, really see it perform.
Absolutely, and it's for the guys too. So for the ladies, for the guys out there, everybody benefits from this. The beauty of it is that when you think about a beauty product, we all have our favorite things. Some things may work better for me than they would for you, and vice versa. When it comes to healthy hair, skin, and nails, it is the great equalizer. Everybody can benefit from this, and that is what makes it so special. It doesn't matter your ethnicity, it doesn't matter your age. This is something that everybody can benefit from. The key is, in order to grow great nails, great skin, to have great hair, you need the ingredients. You need the raw materials to grow hair, skin, and nails. So the beauty in a nutshell here is that this is providing those materials that you need to grow better hair, better skin, and better nails. And if you decide, well, you know what, I'm gonna go eat a healthier diet to get those ingredients. Well, good luck with that, because that's the problem. We are not getting in our diet what you are getting in these capsules. And that's why when you start taking it, it's remarkable, because suddenly you start seeing these incredible results, because you're giving your body what it needs to grow better hair, skin, and nails.
The typical, of course, we heard from the other chart, we have MSM in here and other key ingredients, but most importantly is our bioavailable biotin. And our bioavailable biotin, we're talking about 4,000 micrograms. The typical American diet doesn't deliver 50 micrograms. So we're talking about 80 times more biotin per capsule. So that's what makes a profound difference. And you have a 3.5-month money-back guarantee. If you'd like to see if things can get better, we have reviews that no one thought they could even get better than they were, and they saw benefits.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's an opportunity.
Exactly. I know we're going to wrap it up because we have the last chance to get our today's special. If you're just stopping by, I know Sunday night, many of you might be finding us for the first time. If you were out and about today, if you were at dinner, if you